Thank you for joining me today. I hope everyone is having a great holiday season and looking forward to celebrating the new year. I'm reaching out to you to eliminate any rancor you've heard over the last few weeks. It worries me that the 2022 budget may be in jeopardy of not passing as a result. Opinions are bantied about recklessly with half-truths, sometimes no truths, by people who don't really understand the operation at MBT. Since January, the board has been completely transparent with you about the strategies, management, and our financial condition. You should be very proud to own a property at MBT. It is a safe place. It offers good dining at reasonable costs and provides meaningful activities that create friendship among us, and it is a really good investment. Like other communities, though, nothing has come easy this year. COVID has lingered, still affects our operation. A change in management created some ill will for people, and people can't go beyond that. Financial headwinds from lost revenues have burdened our ability to make needed improvements. And if that's not enough, rising food and labor costs, staff shortages, continued water damage has continued to plague us. But with all that said, we're still pretty optimistic about what we have ahead of us. You can see the stark difference between a year ago and today. But optimism isn't just an assumption. There are still obstacles that won't go away very easily. Some people believe that new directors can simply erase inaction from the past and overcome the challenges that face us. They actively promote that there is no need to approve the 2022 budget. They hint that we can outrun the near 7% inflation rate that was reported yesterday. They advocate that we don't need a capital plan to prepare for the future because it might cost money. Further, they would advise you that nothing is needed to remain competitive and the property values will simply rise. COVID will be gone and we'll go back to 3 years, no problem. But they offer you no plan. The same people put forward that this board will paint the building, among other things, yet they know that the board has no authority to approve capital improvements more than $50,000. These statements confuse people. They cause fear and anxiety. The budget is designed to meet our operational expenses and improve the services that you have enjoyed. It is laid out in front of you, and there is nothing else to it. The inept communications you're receiving are out of place and for most people unwelcome. MBT is a big building. It's not getting younger. And this concern must be addressed. If you participate in monthly board meetings, you are aware of the challenges and the actions we've taken with management to restore normal operations. You must not be jaded by the ignorance of a few who have self-interest and avarice leading their charge. For over 2 months, each board member was actively involved in the development of the budget, each researching different areas. And we have come together and concluded that the entire budget recommendation, collectively and individually, is the right recommendation. Separate and apart from the annual operating budget is the capital plan. Management and board hired experts to analyze the environmental quality from years of water intrusion, the building structure, and completed an in-depth review of our mechanical systems to determine the future needs for replacement and repair of the equipment. An important observation made by our auditor earlier this year was that prior management did not segregate capital funds for future repairs from our operating funds. They did this in order to make accounting easier. As a result, no meaningful long-term capital budget and plan to follow has been developed. The consequences have been a reactive, overly costly approach to repairs and replacements, putting management at a constant catch-up to meet with the facility needs. The current board, using the analysis of the experts, has put together a 5-year estimate and capital plan for owners. The plan was included alongside this year's budget for your awareness and preparation. The plan has been confusing, and rightfully so. A capital plan has never been presented to owners in detail. You must be confident that this building remains a quality facility, so to ensure residents are safe, sound, and proud, and it must last beyond you for others to enjoy. This blueprint for capital investing will be discussed again at a later date. It requires further refinement before these mandatory improvements and associated costs are presented for understanding and voting. Last, 4 simple questions are being asked for you to opine on. They're not decisions. They do not bind us in any way. They are not executable because of your answers. Many of you have been asked to be heard about these topics, such as whether we should reimagine the PCC to provide a different level of care or change the look of the facility. They are just questions. This is an opportunity given to you by the board for feedback and consensus building about water cooler topics. Your answers will be meaningful, but like the capital budget, they will require a special meeting because these discretionary improvements are likely more than the board is authorized to approve. The importance of the annual meeting can be put in a nutshell. The board and the executive director unanimously agreed that the budget is in the best interest of the community and that you should be aware of the potential implications to your pocketbook. As association members, you have a responsibility to provide management with the tools they need to support you. Unfortunately, you are being distracted by headlines like protect your MVT investment, irregularities and objections, conflicts of interest, and unapproved board minutes, which contain content intended to confuse you and cause uncertainty. The sound bites are self-serving and undermine our efforts, and this is the sole intent. The simple truth is, by approving the budget, we will take an important step to catch up with the costs needed to properly operate the facility. As you saw in the budget presentation, the cost of our capital improvements in 2022 alone are expected to be about $1.5 million to confront the immediate building concerns. Between the additional income generated from operations and our capital reserves, we fully expect that there will be enough cash to meet the challenge without a special assessment to homeowners. The recommended budget would also work in our favor, allowing us the flexibility to explore financial options before using our reserves. Every member of the current board believes strongly that increasing dues is a necessity to counter inflationary costs and tackle the looming repairs we need. Approving the budget gives us the ability to cover most of our operational expenses next year and demonstrate fiscal responsibility in operations while keeping an eye on securing the reserves and preserving the amenities you've come to enjoy. You should vote in favor of the budget and for the candidates who are most qualified to understand and execute that plan. We will not improve without the resources needed. The business as usual and typical inaction is not a responsible option. To summarize, in the FY22 budget is an offset to the 5.4 to 6.7 estimated inflation for next year. Increases in maintenance and housekeeping staff, increases in dining and activities, as well as the unfortunate increase in our insurance premiums. What is not in the budget, and will be discussed at a later time in a special meeting, are any changes to the exterior building, any water remediation, HVAC chase repairs or replacement, structural or cosmetic repairs in excess of $50,000. This is the right plan for Mount Vernon Towers. There is a better location with more upside to achieve. We are asking a lot right now. Nonetheless, it is better to be pound wise right now than a penny foolish. Enjoy your holidays and be safe. And remember a quote from Winston Churchill. We make our living by what we get. We make our life by what we give. It's been a pleasure over the last 2 years to serve the community, and I know I speak for Reed Horn and Lorraine Horner because they feel the same. Thank you very much for listening to this very important message.